Welcome to Mind Over Matter, where we feature young Jamaicans who are shooting for the stars. I'm your host, Margaret Boyne. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, please do and click the notification bell. Today, we're heading to the lacrosse field. Lacrosse might be the first thing you think of when you think Jamaica, but trust me, it's exploding. We have a 22-year-old national player. She's a past student of St. Hugh's High School and presently a student at the University of the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C., playing for the Firebirds. She shares her journey. My guest is Jada Williams. Welcome to Mind Over Matter, Jada.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to talking to you, man, because I've been seeing a lot about lacrosse, and I mean, most of us don't even know much about it. Jamaica seemed to be taking the world by storm because I saw that the men's team is doing very well. The men are creating history. What has led to this popularity of the sport in recent times, I think?
I would definitely say the exposure that we have, and definitely the camps that we've had over the years. We have summer and winter camps located like in the Kingston area of Jamaica. And each year we try to take on more and more kids from different high school and even like at the primary school level. So when they get to high school, they have the skill, the knowledge and everything. And then we go, we go on the international stage and show. The team so far has been a mixture of people of Jamaican descent or heritage and also local players. And it's important to have local players to show that there is, skills and talent back home and not just here. So that's been the contribution or the biggest contributions for you.
Okay. And I see Lacrosse Jamaica doing well too. I see them very visible on social media.
Yeah.
I learned that the sport dates back to 1100 AD. So it's a long time. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So tell us about the game.
Really and truly, it's back to the Native Americans. That's where the sport is from. That's where it was originated from. I genuinely did not know about lacrosse myself. My first love for sports overall was cricket, actually. So I played cricket in primary school I don't remember what the league was, but it was amongst primary schools. And I was the only girl on the team, which I was surprised that they allowed me to play. And then my second love was netball. I also played in the league, primary school wise. So yeah, those are my first love until I got to high school, and then it was introduced to me. Really, I wanted to do netball, but then one of the players said I wasn't tall enough. Little did she, I was going to be tall probably like the second year. I just got to high school, extra co-curricular activities in the school curriculum, and I was doing like swimming, basketball, just jumping around, doing stuff sports I like to do. And lacrosse was introduced to me by my farm prefects, Crystal and Quincy. I don't remember the last names, but they were the ones that saw the stick, and then it just clicked from there. And it wasn't even hard. I think having sport knowledge and just putting two and two together, just the same way, it's just different principles of the sport. So I think it was easy to gravitate to. But lacrosse, I guess the easiest comparison would be like field hockey. We're not on the floor, but we're in the air. And then position wise, it would be football. So those are the easiest comparisons for lacrosse. Right now on the field, you have 11 players, including the goalie. And for Olympics, they wanted to make it sixes. So that's when I went home last year. I played a sixes tournament. We have 6 players on the field, including the goalie. It makes the game faster, more efficient. Right, yeah. And then, it was a trial and error thing. There are way more rules, and they're trying to incorporate old rules and new rules. And I'm just excited to see where the game is about to go to, and the aim in the Olympics. So that's one of my biggest dreams. So I'm definitely waiting for that.
So would you say like it's a mix of your pass and your catch?
Even though the stick is in our hands, it's also footwork. And this is why I feel like it's easy, it can compare to football. Like the leg work, the leg tactics, everything that you have to do and you need to do, like a lot of leg work. And then of course, after that catching and shooting, that's a lot with your upper body, and you have to have a strong core because no, you're moving this way, going that way. So it's a lot of work. Like lacrosse is not an easy sport. It's to me, it's not like I'm playing now, but it's not a sport you can just get up and learn by the books. Lacrosse is so unique that you play in your own way. You do wall ball consistently, just being consistent. Doing plays in your own way, finding your own style, and then that's it. Like there's no one way or certain way to play lacrosse. This is why I love it so much, because you can play the way you want to. And 9 times out of 10 is like mostly like mental, like your mental capacity has to be there, and then you put the physical there and then you make it work. So that's really that.
So what position do you play?
I am a offensive mid, as I said before in our previous conversation. I do a draw. So I specialize doing the draw. That's at the start of the game to get the ball up. And then whoever gets position, offense, defense, right? So I solely play attack, but I do the draw as well. So I'm an offensive mid. So when the ball goes up, I don't go over to the defense side. I stay on the attack side because I am a shooter. Like as I was saying, football attacker, striker. That's my position. So I can play defense. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll get on there 1 or 2 times, but I wasn't taught to play like defense. That's not my strong suit. I'll leave that to others. Like my very good friend of mine, Tamaya Edwards. She's a defender. She's here as well. She plays for Jamaica Lacrosse, and she's here at UDC. She plays defense. I play offense. I play attack. That's my strong suit. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned playing several other sports. So you were always athletic, you were always into sports, and them would say tomboyish.
You're right. I've always liked sports. I've always from a younger age I've been very aggressive. And the best way to let that out is through sports. I think that's the best way to let it out. And I guess you can use the term tomboy. Everything sport wise. My cousins, I'll be around them. My male cousins would play football, we play whatever, we run, whatever, all of that. So athletic wise, I'm really up there. I can firmly say that, and I've been playing, like I said, for years. All my life, I can remember I'm doing something sport wise, and if it's not sport wise, it's academics. So that's just for me.
You mentioned playing lacrosse in high school.
Right, yeah.
What year was that?
So I started high school in 2014.
2014. So that was early. There wasn't many other schools playing. So how did that work?
So at the time it was just St. Hugh's High School and Alpha. Those were the two girls' schools. And then the male schools were George's, Trinity, KC, and Wilmers. Those were the 4 boys schools, 2 girls schools, right? So it was just that, and it would just be a case where we play against each other.
You're right.
And then we realized that, we have really talented players and we should grow the sport, and that's how we started or established the camps, the summer camps, the winter camps. We have volunteers from the States, all over the world, come and teach us across, and that was, I think those camps they play a big, big role in who I am today, how I play, and where I'm at, so I'm very grateful for those camps. And the volunteers that came and helped and taught us, it was just amazing. So, yeah. And then 2015, that's when we got like one more school, girls' school, which is Wilmers. So we had 3 teams though, like 3 girls teams, so we could like compete. you know, and then by 2016, we got Excelsior High School. And then, you know, we got more schools like Immaculate, um, St. Catherine High School right now. Like, so we got more teams. And then, I mean, by the time I graduated, St. Catherine had one season or they were about to start a season. So I was playing competitively probably like my second year of high school in lacrosse. And then by 2019, I graduated that year, 2019, June, and then by the August, I was overseas playing. So
Talk about playing internationally.
my first international game was August 2019.
Tell me about that experience.
Surreal. That's the only word I can use because who would have thought, you know? I never knew I was going to make it to that stage. I mean, that was always a dream, of course. But being there, I think for me, it was just being present, soaking in everything that I could, watching others play, you know, the exchange of cultures. And then even from playing against those teams, I still am friends with some of them to this day. Like we exchange social media and we keep the connection. So that was very important because now I'm here in the States for school. You know, if they're in the area, we could link up, go out, whatever. So it was just the networking. It was just amazing.
After high school, you went to UWE.
Right, yeah.
Tell me a little about that. What you're studying there?
All right. Really and truly, so after my championships, like I said, I graduated high school. I wanted to play college lacrosse because that was the dream, right? I didn't get through, and then I didn't have a plan by the time I got back home to Jamaica. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do sixth form. So I did 2 years of sixth form at St. Hugh's, of course. Big up St. Hugh's, by the way. 2 years of sixth form. And I did courses where, like I said, towards stuff that I wanted to do. I like business and I also like psychology. So I took like entrepreneurship, I did sociology, I did, like communication studies, Caribbean studies, just those stuff in general. At first, I applied to UTech for business. And then my friend's like, you should apply to UWE because that's where you really, you want to the psych. So I applied for psych. And I applied for psych, I got through, and this was like late, like after I finished, or about to finish sixth form. I got accepted, and I made it happen. I made it. UWE, the year and a half that I spent at UWE was really good for me. I met friends where I know that they're going to be lifelong friends. And even when I got here, it was really hard for me because, I left them behind. And this whole friend group, it was like 6 of us, including a male. And we still talk to this day. And they made the experience really good for me because, every time class over, we get lunch, we sit, we talk, we laugh. UWE, quality of education, perfect.
Top tier.
I definitely say that the education system, I read it. And if it wasn't for lacrosse, I'd still be at UWE. My graduation it would actually be this year.
You got a lacrosse scholarship?
Right. I got a full ride here. And it was offered to me when I went to my 2022 senior women's world championship. So that's when it was offered to me. So I already did 1 year at UWE. I left JA January 6th. January 6th of last year. And I mean it was really hard to leave because like I said, I established friendships, and certain connections with people, and I had to leave. But then I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as, better opportunity. I'm actually going to live out a dream that I've been dreaming about, playing lacrosse at the collegiate level. And the collegiate level compared to international level is basically the same level of competitiveness because I'm telling you, the aggression, and I think I was ready for it. Like God said, it's your time now. I was ready for it, And then when I found out that, I got accepted, everything is set in stone, I did everything that I needed to do to be ready for when I got here. So, I mean, I started the gym probably 2021 November. That was like when COVID was kind of dwindling down. And I was in the gym every time, just preparing for my world championship. But little did I know, preparing me for when I got here to play at the collegiate level. So I'm just grateful for how everything played out.
How were you able to adjust in the States without your family around, without your friends?
Right. I think what made this transition smooth and easy was because I had my friend Tamaya, like I said, she's here playing as well. We both got scholarships to come here. So having her, it was easy because I had a piece of home with me everywhere I went. And we also roomed together. So that was easy. I tried my best to like talk to family and friends over the phone when I could and when I can. But when I got here, it was in the lacrosse season. So when I got here, it wasn't ooh, I have a semester where I'm just doing academics, and then the next semester is when I'm in season. I came right in the season. So I didn't even have time to be like, oh, let me think about
Yeah,
it was a
right.
case of I got here, it's time to play, play,
And it
and
was
that's
time for playing.
yeah, it was just time to play, and I think it was when the season ended where, I'm off the high, I'm now settling down, and then I started thinking about everything, and I'm like, I left home, I left friends, but my friends understood like the journey. They know what the journey was. So them expressing how proud they are and were of me, that helped. Like it kept me up. I stayed uplifted, and that's what got me through. Leaving home is never easy. Being here now, I've made a space for myself, like where I am. So I can't say this is home for me, but home is really where the heart is, and my heart is in Jamaica. And even on my social media, I'm looking at stuff back home, and I'm like, why all this happening when I leave? Like, so that's what I stay connected.
Yeah.
My roots never lost. Since I got here, I cook, and I'll cook my Jamaican dishes, my curry,
Right.
my porridge, and all of that. Like the
Right. You
roots,
still have your
it's
roots.
on,
You
it's
haven't
right
left
there.
your roots at all. Yeah.
I have to remember, my mom, my grandma, and my auntie, those three women, they're the biggest motivation, the biggest piece. They're the biggest they're the person I look up to. Like they're very important to me. So I connect with my grandma every time I can, my mom every time I can, and my aunt every time I can. This the littlest celebrations or stuff that I have accomplished, I share with them, talk with them. I have siblings, I talk with them as well. So that's what I'm trying. But they know that I didn't just come here to just, come here and then forget them. I come here to,
Right.
it's bigger than me. I'm here to do what I must do.
Your team, the Firebirds,
Right.
how are you guys performing?
Performance wise, I'll definitely say we're getting better. Before we
Okay.
got here, the team was performing well, but I guess it wasn't as up to par. When I got here, my first season, we won our first game ever.
What?
The head coach that we have, it was her first win in her tenure here. So that was big. And then since he's won a game again. So progression is not like from here to here, it's a stepping stone. So we're doing what we can and I'm also one of the captains. So I'm working alongside my coaches to try and get players that will definitely help our program to get better. We have really good players, we're playing in the Division 2 level. We've had many like Rookie of the Week, honor roll players, all of that. We're up there. We just need to, work harder, put more wins up there, and then, you will see the difference, the progression, the transition.
You mentioned lacrosse being you have to be mentally strong, right?
Yeah.
It requires your mentals to be up there. How do you maintain your focus?
Well, for me personally, maintain focus. Whenever I get overwhelmed and I feel like I'm doing too much, I remember my mentor from back home. She said I need to give myself some grace, right?
Mm.
Sometimes I have to step back, sit down, and actually just be with myself and let everything
Mm.
flow. Feel what I need to feel, and then I work on it. Managing academics and athletics is not easy. Like the lifestyle of a student athlete is not easy because from training, you're going home to rush to make breakfast, rush back to classes, and then rush back home, find time to do assignments, what you need to do, and actually get adequate sleep or the 8 hours of sleep that's required. That's not it. My schedule is like and then I think for me having a routine helps. So because I know to do all of this, I do the same thing every day to keep me on my level. Recently, or since season, I was hurt. My left leg of a peroneal tendonitis, which I was out for a couple games, and that really put a damper on my mental state. It's kind of hard for me because playing is something I love, and then being one of the leaders of my team, it's kind of hard to see my team out there playing.
Yes,
There's
you're on the same
so
line.
that definitely put a damper on me, but I did what I needed to do. I was in rehab working with my athletic trainer, big up my athletic trainer. I was, taking care of my body, like taking care of my health so I can be the best again to help my teammates and just do well in my schoolwork. So I think, yeah, like I said, having a routine, taking breaks, and I like the environment that I'm in because you can go on like long walks, can go on run. You don't have to worry about being in danger or anything. So that's how I manage my mental.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we were speaking before, you told me that you're from Waterhouse. So tell me a little
Okay.
about growing up in Waterhouse and
Oh
what
wow,
was it like?
Waterhouse, Capture Waterhouse. So let me put that there. I'm from Capture Waterhouse. West Bay Farm Road.
Okay.
Near that gully.
You're
That's where
right.
growing up in Waterhouse. It was never a safe place. In my yard, it was safe because I was with family and everybody. I was always guarded. But the area, it was never safe. Like growing up, and then when I got older and they're telling me stories, I'm like, wow, lots of gunshots, a lot of gunshots. And then because I'm from there, I'm going to tell them that it's safe because I'm safe. When really it's talking about it or telling an outsider it's not, and it can be scary. And that's true. Um, and I can tell you something I've experienced. My mom had a pastry shop and a bar, and it was one night. It was actually her birthday. Somebody got killed right at the front of the yard. Like, he was on a bicycle. I guess somebody walked up to him, shot him in the head. And I can remember I was in my room on the phone for my friends, and I just heard one gunshot, and then I just heard screams after. My mom and her boyfriend, they were in the living room. My auntie just flew down from Canada, so it was just like so chaotic. I remember I can talk about a next instance where I was in the washroom with my uncle, and we were washing, and we just heard, when something is hitting on a fence like constantly. We thought it was that because it wasn't stopping. But then after we heard screams, and then we're like, whoa, somebody died. So it was never safe. But I felt safe because, like I said, the people know me, they know my mom, and Keisha is not somebody to play with. If anybody's feel like, "Oh, that's a Keisha daughter," don't play with Keisha daughter. The respect is there. And it's not even a hype thing, it's just because and then I've said the man them, they know who they want to play with.
So you were protected, basically,
Yeah, I was. Apart from that though, whenever it's like Christmas time, New Year's time or whatever, they keep parties in the community and get all the kids together, give back. You know, kids get and I was one of those kids. Got school bag, books, crayons, shoes, all that. Like whenever it's time to come together, the community is there. Like we'd have water party along the road, and that was just like the highlight for everyone. And then it wasn't a constant thing where every day is war. It was just like a, you know, so
just flare up
yeah,
sometimes.
just flare up and then whatever. Like people, I mean, COVID, I think COVID was the best thing that could happen in terms of there because no one was on the road. So no one had the time to, you know, go out and be deviant and do whatever. When I'm telling you, Waterhouse is never a community where it's just bland. You hear music playing there, music playing there, and of course you have a football team. Pick up Waterhouse Football Federation. It's one of the best team there. But yeah, you know, like that we had something to say, oh, this is who we are. And if you read anybody from Waterhouse, big Shelly and Fraser Price, come on now, big runner. And she actually lived down the road from me, like not too far. I've never met her in person, but she's one of my biggest role models in sports. Definitely. But before I left, the place started to lively up, and that's good. When I went back home, it was kind of lively, and I was happy to see that.
Yeah. What about when you return home now? I mean, how they treat you when you come back in the area?
They treat me like me a trophy. But big, you know, like when I was leaving, they're like, oh, yeah, leave, no, you're a star, you know, the star of the place, you know, always something positive, never something negative, you know. But yeah, going back home, it was really good, you know. Like I said, if I wanted anything, they'll give it to me, all of that. There's a soup lady called Miss Nama, and she's been there forever. So when I got there, I was really happy to see her. I sat down on the roadside with her, talk, whatever, you know, and just share my experience. Yeah, I know when I go back home again, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, it probably won't be the same, but the feels and the connection that you have with people is definitely in a gun, it's there, you know.
But how do you feel though, Jada, about your journey? I mean, coming from Waterhouse and you're up there on the scene doing big things for Jamaica, playing for Jamaica and all of that.
My journey, I can definitely say God was always at the forefront. He helped me through. My journey it has never been easy. Everything I wanted, it was after earning. And I'll definitely big up my mom, my grandma, my auntie for teaching me the principles of respect, love, and not being a child where I get everything that I want. I have to work for it. And because I worked for everything that I wanted and everything that I needed, I got it. And I got it through working for it, you know, working towards it, doing everything that I must. So it was never easy, but the reward is so big, it's so nice, it's so good, it's amazing. So my journey, I can say, did play a big part in who I am today and where I'm at. And I'm just grateful.
What are your future plans? Will you be doing your master's?
Right.
What's next for you?
Bachelor's right now. The aim is to be a sports psychologist. And I said that because I realized that even back home when I was in high school, athletes deal with a lot, you know, and to manage schoolwork and athletics, it can put a damper on just your health overall. So I feel like it's important to have someone, that mid person, to actually help you find techniques and, you know, just different variations or like motivation and just like help with performance wise stuff to get them through. After bachelor's, I'd like to do my master's. I'll probably do master's in social work or a master's in sports medicine. Like either way, I want to work with people. That's just my thing.
Any championships coming up in Jamaica soon for women's lacrosse?
The next championship for Team Jamaica, lacrosse wise, is this summer. It's going to be in Hong Kong, and it's the U20, and I'm very, very excited for it. Like when I tell you, I'm excited, super excited, because they're going to see the same thing I did. They're going to feel the same thing I did, and their lacrosse knowledge and IQ is just going to go from here to here. You know, with experiences, you get better, and that's what we want. Give them the experience, they get better.
I wanted to leave a message for our young people, especially those who might be interested in the game of lacrosse, who might be curious about it, probably don't know where to start.
So first and foremost, again, like I said, track and field and football and cricket and netball is not the only like sport that's at the forefront of Jamaica. There's lacrosse, right? And just like any other sport, it brings people together. This one definitely brings people together. Like the level of respect, love, and the feeling of belongingness that you feel whenever you play lacrosse, that it's there. And I feel like us as Jamaicans and local and abroad need to feel this. Go on the Jamaica Lacrosse page, look at our growth, you know, scroll to the page, you'll see that we've been making progress. We've been doing the work, we've been in rankings, you know, and if you're interested, send an email. If you're interested in like having your school get a team, send an email. Come out to the summer camps, come out to the winter camps, and all this information will be on the page. So, you know, you like the interest of people will help the game grow, and that's all we need, the support to just come out and watch, and you know, just continuously help us get to the stage where we can fill up stadium.
Jada, it was great talking to you.
Yeah.
I learned so much about lacrosse, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to see you play,
Yeah.
soon or one day.
You know, yeah, for sure.
Yes. And it was great talking to you, man. And thanks again.
It was good talking to you too. Thank you for having me. I actually saw this page before. I just didn't know what it was. I mean, I went through. I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but I appreciate you having me on your platform, Mind Ova Matter, and it was really good talking to you as well.